Well, today I'm doing a little bit something different. I'm going through our setup. Usually my aviation paintings, and this one I'm just doing for a guy on internet, no, Casey over in Tasmania I think it is, and he just wants one of any old Spitfire, so I'm doing one of a photograph I found on internet. I've flipped it over to make it more friendly to the eye. I'll do my own take on it, background and stuff, as I'm painting. But it's basically as I want it, and because I've flipped it, I'm going to have to alter code numbers and panel lines, because the Spitfire has just aft the canopy. It has a box-shaped door in the fuselage, into fuselage. It was used on some for photographic recce, for the camera bay area and stuff, but it was for access to stuff like, I think it was the oxygen tanks and stuff, so it was more or less on every Spitfire. Anyway, here's my tool for doing accurate drawings. I used to grid out, and sometimes I'd use tissue paper, but it was all a ball ache, and the more I painted, the more I discovered I needed a more friendly way of doing it, and an easier way, quicker way. And also, when I'm doing more complex paintings, I'll do a lot of Photoshop work, incorporating multiple images to get multiple aircraft, buildings, backgrounds, you name it, whatever. There's multiple images going, and then the artistic interpretation thereof. Anyway, this is the basic setup. I have a laptop, and it's linked into a overhead projector. And then what I'll be doing any second, I'll just click this off now, and at this point, this is where the image will be projected onto the wall. And what I'll be doing, I'll put the canvas on the wall, I'll blue tack it onto the wall, which I'll just show you. While doing, I'll move the camera over here a bit, get some shizzle out of the way. Anyway, there we are. What I'll do, I'll zoom in a little. I think it's going to be moved over that way anyway. I'll tell you what, let's move the projector to where I'm going to be working from. Right, so now it's been moved more to where I'm going to be working from. I'll just touch it a little bit more. And there we are. That gives a bit better view of where we'll be working. And let's get started. Setting it up. Put a dab of blue tack on each of the four corners of the canvas. Just throw those pegs you see, the wooden bits, if you've had bought a canvas, on the back of canvases, they get hammered into these slots in the rear of the canvas to tauten the canvas up. After, although another technique I use, I spray the rear of the canvas with water so it gets damp and it tartans the canvas up, but I still use those anyway. Here we go, press this onto the wall, all four corners. Right, that's solid. And next, let's have a look how we're going. Right, now then, we're in focus on the camera. Now all we have to do is flip it over onto the projector and set that up, which will take 1 second. There we go, that should be coming up. There we are. Now then, it's a matter of setting this up where we want it. It's a little bit on large side. That's better. Now then, we can take that back a little. Back a little more. A little bit more. A little bit more. And that, I'd say, is going to be around about where I'd want it on the canvas. So now, we focus in. There we are, I've got my focus as good as we want it. And now I can make a start at drawing out. I think I'll probably go to the other side. Might make it easier to draw from, because I'm struggling with my arm and the shapes. There we go, that'll be a bit better. And as I'm doing it, it's just really the main areas I want that'll be tricky, like there. That's the edge. I can actually do it freehand if anyone was wondering. I have that ability and I'm not too bad. I just do this as time saving. It saves time on rubbing out. It gets you far more accurate. But you have to remember, it's as accurate as a photo will let you. because in some degrees I've not checked proper, because this is a pretty dynamic painting and your eyes took away from a lot of things in it, but it could well be there's camera distortion in it with the telephoto lens being used. But having said that, it's a dynamic and close-up paint, and if it looks about right, it probably is about right, to be fair. Because the Spitfire of aircraft in particular, it's a pretty complicated shape, especially trying to get the wings right, because they have at certain angles. This angle isn't too bad an angle, to be honest, but certain angles, that elliptical wing can be a nightmare to get right. There's the panelling in it where the wing joins, goes right over such down there, and the top surface of the wing goes like that and like that. It is quite what seems like a simple job at first with the Spitfire. It's far from an easy job. It's a complex shape to draw. That's why I've taken any doubts out of it, especially by using my projector method. The cannons there, I'm just getting the basic location. All I need is the basic location and outlines of things to get where they are. I can work a lot of stuff out because I'm pretty familiar with the aircraft. And when you're painting, you move things and do stuff till it seems right to the eye. I mean, I think it's easy, and but I guess if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It's just I've done it for so long now. A lot of stuff's just second nature to me. Especially with aircraft, where things are. Because over the years I've been an aviation artist first and foremost, before other stuff. Also, if I get stuck, I never use just one reference like this. I've got multiple reference books. There's the internet. The internet over recent years has been a godsend. What it took months of research at one time, you can have cracked off in an afternoon nowadays, which is an absolute godsend. As I say, I don't panic about exact stuff at the moment. I get that right to the there's various stages. Oh, God damn it. This is what always happens. I come over to computer. Split the... Yes, there we go. We're back in. Now then, now I've committed to pencil. Well, I've done the basic sketching pencil, I should say. I'm committing to ink, which will take a wee while, but it gives me the straight lines and better stuff to work with. That's leading edge of the wing. That's the underneath of the wing. Going up to the cannon there. Gives you something far better to work with. Just hoping my head's not in the way. As you can see, my shakes aren't helping me nowadays. I don't honestly know how long I've got left painting and modelling. I just take it day by day at the moment. I don't know if Doc can do out yet because I don't know how others are in other countries, but in the UK you've got more chance of seeing a unicorn than a doctor. Awful state of affairs we've been put in with Corona. As I say, you've more chance of seeing a unicorn than a doctor. They all went into hiding. Sad, but a fact. Whilst others had been on the front line, the doctor said. I mean, it's all very well saying we're doing this and we're doing that for Corona, but it's no good if everything else is going downhill. Corona's only a small part of the nation's health. And I feel other conditions are suffering because they, to some degree, unjustifiably concentrating on Corona. I mean, how can you leave cancer patients to go awry for what is essentially the flu? I don't know. I'm not looking for answers, I just have my own ideas on it, I suppose. And they're not favourable towards our health services at the moment. As I say, nurses, HCAs and everything, they've been on the front line while doctors hid away. And that's all I've said. Anyway, here we go. I mean, to be fair, I'm doing the ink drawing here, but this will be refined again as I paint. Anyway, I'll leave that there. I'll go and do the rest in the comfort of my room, and I'll be back in a sec. Well, it'll take a while for me, but it'll be a sec to show you the finished outcome. And here we are. We've got all the basics down in ink now. And I'm not particularly concentrated on details. All I want's the main aspects. For starting off, all I really want is outlines and the background. For effects, I think I may well airbrush the background in acrylics. I use Atelier Interactive, an Australian artist quality acrylic, and I find it good for airbrushing, so I'll be putting the background in. I'm not particularly paid full attention to, let's say, the, what do you call it, what is it, the quarters, like, what do you call it, rule of thirds. I'm not particularly paid attention, where you put like a noughts and crosses grid on, and you could say that's near enough, the marking to the rule of thirds, and also the propeller boss is near enough, so that's two aspects on it, but the pilot's off it, only just, but it's meant to be a dynamic painting really. And what I'm planning on doing with the background is airbrushing it so it's smooth. I'm using pastel colours so the actual subject will pop like it's coming out at you basically, and to give it depth I'll use more pastel colours to the background and come to more vivid colours down here for the foreground just under it. And because it's meant to be low, I don't know how high up I'm depicting it at the moment. I think it'll be fairly low, so there may be some shadow from the aircraft down here. But yeah, follow it along. This is part one. I think the next part's when I'm painting. I'll use my GoPro for time lapse, so it's better to see how things come along. But as I've said, no details done. The camel on it, there's no point in putting the camel or numbers on. I've not decided on the code numbers yet, and I've not decided on the camo. On Spitfires there were two camo schemes. There was the A and the B scheme, so I'll find what I want to put it on. The A and the B mostly applied to the wings anyway. They used rubber masking for spraying in the factory, and to give it a B scheme they flipped one wings upside down onto the others and that upside down onto that wing, so it gave a different scheme, and they were known as A and B schemes. But anyway, follow along. I don't know how many parts I'm going to do to this. Well, this is part one, and it gives you a basic idea of how I'll lay a painting out. Thank you for watching. See you in part two. Thanks to all my subscribers who stick along with me, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Tatty pie for now, and catch you in my later one.